Hey, what's up, guys? It's Hayden.
Hey, and I'm Emma, and oh boy, am I excited to talk about this movie today. We have finally seen House of Gucci. This is going to be old news for you guys overseas who have already had the movie for several months, but classic Australia, getting it late as usual.
Yes, pretty classic.
We're always late to the party.
Yeah.
But no, it's finally released here, and oh my god, I was so looking forward to this movie. If you saw our trailer reaction, you know how much I was anticipating this movie. Unfortunately, we couldn't see it when it was exactly released because, of course, we ended up in isolation the day this movie was released. We had a bit of a COVID scare, but we were all clear, thankfully. We didn't get it, but we did have to isolate for a few days. But now we have finally seen it, thank God. And stick around if you want to hear our thoughts.
So House of Gucci follows the real-world story of the fashion powerhouse Gucci and the murder of Maurizio Gucci at the hands of his then-wife Patrizia Reggiani. I'm sorry if I butchered those names. So this starts off as a bit of a love story, but then you kind of find that Patrizia does get a little bit power-hungry and money-hungry, which causes some friction in their relationship. So Maurizio, he's a bit more, what would you say, subdued?
Well, look, I guess I don't know if that was just Adam Driver's portrayal of him or if that was what he was like in real life. But yeah, I certainly felt Maurizio didn't seem to have, at least at the beginning, the passion for fashion, if you will, as much as the rest of his family. That was sort of the vibe I got from the movie, was he kind of, he was starting to be a lawyer, I think. Yeah. He wanted to go down a different path, but he was kind of, thrown into this business and inherited the role, essentially. So, yeah, you kind of got the vibe that he didn't really want to be a part of...
He didn't really care so much about the money and the power.
Yeah.
Because you could see early on in the film, no spoilers, but you could see that he was happy living a more simpler life. And it was actually Patrizia who kind of pushed him back into the family, which, caused a little bit of friction. And she overstepped her mark a couple of times, and things kind of escalate to the point where, she ends up murdering him.
Yes.
And, no spoilers, because you guys know this story by now, surely.
It's history.
It's history. So, I mean, this is, I guess, a story that we can talk about without having to really worry about spoilers.
Well,
because it's based on a true story. So, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, because you're obviously a massive Lady Gaga fan. This movie is probably more up your alley than it was mine. So I want to hear your thoughts straight off the bat.
Well, people may think that I'm just going to be completely biased in this opinion because, yes, I absolutely adore Gaga. I am a little monster from way back. But honestly, Lady Gaga should have been acting this whole time. She is phenomenal. And I can totally see Oscar buzz floating around her again for this role. I could gush for hours over her. She was fantastic. She nailed this role. She was perfect casting, not just in how she portrayed Patrizia, but how she looks too. And I thought she did a really good job with the accent as well. I've seen some clips, some side-by-side clips of her doing the accent next to the real woman, and their accents are very similar. So I think she's done a really good job there. As biased as I sound, but honestly, I actually think we need to hear your opinion on Gaga's performance first, because we need to hear it from someone who isn't
the unbiased opinion,
a crazy fan. Because
well, I thought she was fantastic. I thought she was absolutely brilliant in this role, to the point where I kind of feel like she's the one that kind of carries this movie to an extent, because it is more about that drama early on. There's not a lot of action in this one. It's more about that family dynamic, that drama. And so you really need the actors to kind of carry the film. It's very character driven. And I think she does a fabulous job of carrying this movie, especially because, Adam Driver's character, Maurizio, as we said, is a little bit more subdued, and he's not as, I guess, out there and extravagant and flamboyant. There's none of that. He's very kind of just straight in his performance. And so you kind of need someone to really just kind of step up with that personality. I think Lady Gaga really brought that to the role. So I can definitely see her getting an Oscar nod for this one, 100%.
Yeah. I will be very disappointed if she doesn't get at least a nomination.
Yeah.
She completely deserves it. As I said, she should have been acting a long time ago.
100%.
Obviously she has nailed the music world, but damn, I would have loved to have seen a much longer acting career from her. I have heard that she did want to get into acting, when she was a lot younger, but
She can just do everything.
Bloody
hell. And at that level as well. It's not like she's just, she stepped into acting and she's, she's okay, but no, she's gotten an Oscar nod for her first major film role.
Yeah. Outstanding.
And is lining up for a second one. She is amazing, an amazing talent. Now, we kind of mentioned Adam Driver a couple of times, and not to say his performance was bad, but it just wasn't as I said, there wasn't much personality to bring out of the character, because the character was, almost shy, subdued, and I think Adam Driver played the role well. He was solid, he's rock solid as always, but definitely not as much of that personality shining through.
And look, we had a great cast lineup, not just with Lady Gaga and Adam Driver, but you had Al Pacino in there, Jared Leto, who was completely unrecognizable. Massive shout out to the makeup department. I could not find a flaw.
Seamless.
In his makeup. I can only, for those who are new here, I am a makeup artist and I love to do special effects makeup in particular, and I could not find a flaw in that makeup. I could only aspire to do makeup like that. So that transformation was just for me.
Yeah. And look, touching on Jared Leto for a second, that is going to be the performance that I think divides people.
Yeah.
Because he is the one that does bring out a lot of personality in his performance. The character of Paolo Gucci in this movie is very flamboyant, over the top, a lot of personality, eccentric, and it can kind of come off as a bit of an Italian caricature to an extent, but at the same time, I enjoyed watching his performance. I thought it was very entertaining. It brought a lot of comedic value to the movie, which I think it kind of needed, because I think without that, it kind of just becomes a little bit, melodramatic? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I feel like it needed that comedic touch, and I think Ridley Scott would have been, wary of that going in, that it needed something else, and I think him and Jared Leto probably had a bit of a conversation about it, and I think they made the decision to make his character kind of like the comic relief. And I know that some people aren't happy about that. I know that the family of Paolo Gucci aren't happy about that.
Oh, really?
But I think for the film, that was what was required. And I can't say that I hated the performance as much as it was a little bit caricature-y. It was entertaining. And I think the film did need that kind of comic relief.
Yeah, I agree. And I have to say though, watching the film, I did for the most part enjoy Jared Leto's character, but I did find myself cringing at times. I thought he went a little bit over the top. He dragged out some lines a bit too much, and I was just like, spit it out already.
Spit it out, David!
Yeah, but I do agree, again, thinking back on it, I do agree that his character did give that comic relief that I feel like it needed, because otherwise, I guess if you take his character out, it would be a very serious sort of level.
This is the same tone all the way through. And while you still need to keep within the tone of the film, you do need to have those other elements in there, like comedic elements. And a lot of movies do this. The Marvel films do this quite a lot, have a lot of comedic elements. It's just what you need, you need that kind of break from just all the drama. Yeah. And I think, Jared Leto's character, Paolo, gave us that in the movie, so I can't hate them for that. But, everyone else was great. Al Pacino is great as always. Jeremy Irons is great as always, although his accent game is a bit hit and miss in this one. But aside from that, he's fantastic. I think they assembled a very good cast in this one. And, I think everyone turned in really good performances.
Yeah. As I said, I enjoyed the movie. all the acting was fantastic. Makeup, incredible. The fashion,
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
Wardrobe did a fantastic job. They would have had quite the, the palette to choose from.
Yes.
It
was quite interesting to see the development of the fashion over the years as well. But also the soundtrack, because this was heavily set in the 80s.
Yeah.
It had a really cool 80s soundtrack to it, which I thought went along with it all very well. So there was a lot to love in the movie, but as I said, I just don't know if it grabbed me enough that I want to go and see it again. Yeah, and I kind of heard that some people had an issue with the beginning kind of dragging. There was a bit of build up to the climax, the murder. But I feel like you need that backstory and you need to see where they were to see how they ended up. You need to see that motivation behind it. So I didn't have an issue with the storytelling, the build up to the climax. So
it's a drama.
It's a drama.
What do you expect? It's character driven.
Yeah.
It's all about the relationships. That's the murder is only just the end of that story. All the build up makes the bulk of the movie. So.
Yeah. I mean, if they jump straight to that, then
yeah,
there's not much else to tell.
What else do they tell? Yeah, what else do they do with it?
So no, and it gave the opportunity for the audience to sort of learn a bit more history about the family and the fashion brand. Also, for a film that got an MA rating for a sex scene, was kind of expecting a little bit more. Was kind of wanting a little bit more. Girl got slammed against that desk pretty hard, I'll give him that. But I don't know if it deserved an MA rating.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen more intense sex scenes in M-rated films. So I was a little bit disappointed because I'd heard about this sex scene and Gaga getting thrown around a bit. And Gaga and Adam Driver, two of my favourite people. Then together, I was like, damn, this is going to be hot and steamy. And look, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good, but I kind of wanted a little bit more. Is it just me?
I don't know. I don't think I had those same expectations as you did. I thought it was fine. I thought it was.
I don't know. It's, as I said, for the MA rating.
I don't know. Does Ridley Scott do sex scenes well? I don't know.
I don't
know. But a sex scene aside, Ridley Scott did a great job. From the technical aspects of this movie, he is a seasoned vet at this point. He knows what he's doing. So it's, shot beautifully, directed pretty well. Jared Leto character aside, if you take him out of it, obviously that's going to be divisive. But everything else was handled, quite well. So yeah, I thought this movie was good. I'm kind of with you. I don't know if I'd see it again. It's kind of one of those movies like you see once and that's it. But you appreciate the artistry in it. Yeah,
definitely. And it's a very fascinating story. A very fascinating true story. And it was interesting to, there was so much about the family that I didn't know and about the history of Gucci. Didn't know that today there's no one with the Gucci name who actually works for Gucci. I didn't realize all the drama that went on. I knew that, Patrizia did have a big role in the murder of her ex-husband. But all the other stuff I wasn't aware of. So that was really interesting to watch. But I've been there, done that. I've seen it. But honestly, I do think it deserves an Oscar nod for performances.
Yep, 100%. Lady Gaga should get nominated, 100%.
Even makeup department.
Makeup probably should. Yep. Wardrobe probably should. Yeah. I think you'll see a few Oscar nods for this one. Yeah.
I don't know if it would be up for Best Picture though.
No, not quite.
I think it fell a little bit flat.
Tight competition for Best Film.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit short of that, but I still recommend going seeing it at least once, making up your own minds about it. I definitely think it deserves that. Just for the performances alone.
Yeah, definitely.
There is still a lot to love with House of Gucci.
But anyway, let's wrap it up there. Let us know what you thought of House of Gucci. Have you seen it? You probably have because it's been out for ages and, typical Australia's always behind.
Yeah, so let us know what you think in the comments below. Slam that like button if you like what we do. Hit the bell for the notifications to be notified of what we've got coming up next. Subscribe to our channel and become part of the Headspace Films community. And most importantly of all, thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
See you later.